It's the Soul Fantasy Show, Soul Fan Show. Hey, it's the Soul Fantasy Show live for May 23rd, 2020. We got NBA action, yo. LA Lakers versus Portland for Draftkings and Fanduel. If you already haven't, please subscribe to the channel. We're having a little bit more fun today because LA is playing and Portland. So you got a lot of studs today that you have to sift through. LeBron James, Davis, Lillard, McCollum, Whiteside. And you could think about these guys down here, but those top five right there, you are going to make or break the slate. So let's go right into LeBron James and just figure out whose stats are the highest. So right under him, small forward is Kyle Kuzma, who I'm not crazy about. LeBron James, 11,000 on FanDuel. All right, 2,000 minutes. Plus minus 483. Damn. Usage rate, 32 usage rate. He's getting a lot of usage. Made 586 field goals. He's obviously expensive. 473 rebounds, 36 assists, 239 turn. All right, his turnover ratio is 15, but his usage rate overrules that. So I'm all over LeBron James today. Look at that. 61, 54, 63, 58, 74. That's what you're going to expect out of him. If not 70 maybe. You might get a 70 out of LeBron today. Due to his price, he's going to at least get 55.5 and get 5 times value. 1.61 fantasy points, almost 2 fantasy points per minute. He's definitely hitting his value. Then you got Anthony Davis, and under him, you could play Morris, who's if he's on this team. I'm not sure how that works. He's 3.7, but let's just go on. I'm sure Anthony Davis is in the lineup, and Morris. So all right, 500 field goals made. A lot of rebounds, 517 rebounds. 22% defensive rebound. So almost a quarter of the time he's getting all the defensive rebounds. So that'll boost your total up. Assists 172 and only a 10% turnover ratio. So, all right. So he's turning the ball over less and very productive. Sorry. He's very productive for $400 less. He might not get that 70, but he's going to get 50 to 69 fantasy points. His value is a little less than 5. He's getting a little less fantasy points per minute, but he's going to get 50 to 69 fantasy points. So he's definitely worth playing. You got to spend up today, and you got to play stars and scrubs. So you have to play one of these 4 stars with a lineup of scrubs in there. They're not scrubs. They're really good players, but he's 10-2 on FanDuel. He has a lot of minutes, 2,139 minutes. His plus minus is only 66 positive. Made most of his field goals, has a good amount of rebounds and assists, and is an 11% turnover ratio. So if you're going to spend a little less and you don't want to play LeBron James or Anthony Davis, or you just you have to decide to play LeBron and Lillard or Anthony Davis and Lillard, or McCollum and Davis, or Hassan and LeBron. So if you want to save, you're going either Lillard, McCollum, or Whiteside. So McCollum, let's see, he's 7,200. It's pretty cheap on FanDuel. He's getting plenty of minutes, whether Lillard's in there or not. Plus minus is only 27. Made a lot of 2-pointers and field goals. Good amount of rebounds. Not half the amount of rebounds as Anthony Davis. So you got to think about that. With a very low 8% turnover ratio. So McCollum is good to go. He's going to get a good amount of fantasy points. So he's going to get 1.6 fantasy points, 1.06 fantasy points per minute. He's going to get that 40 burger, 40, 50 maybe even. But he could screw you over and get a 21. So you're better off with LeBron, Davis, Lillard as your stud. And if you really want to go cheap and then put some other mid-range guys in, you go McCollum. So we'll go one more over Whiteside's stats. 1,900 minutes played. Almost what everybody else is. His plus minus is 94. 418 field goals made. And he made most of them. So he's making most of his shots. 4 3-pointers made. He's not shooting threes. He's getting a killer amount of rebounds, which is definitely going to boost you up big time. 869 rebounds. 70, even some assists with a 13% little high turnover ratio. So if you want to go with the guy who's going to get a lot of rebounds, we'll go over what he did in the season. 42, 38, 58, 55. So look, he had 58 and 55. That's probably when he went crazy on the rebounds. So if he gets a lot of rebounds today, he's going to get that 50 range. If he doesn't, he's going to get 42 or 38, something like that. All right, so then you have Anthony, who is very expensive. You could go there. 34% chance to get 30 to 45 fantasy points. All right, he's at 81.87 fantasy points per minute. He's a pretty good play to put in. So if you want to play LeBron and Carmelo, or Anthony Davis and Carmelo, or I wouldn't play CJ and Carmelo as your studs, because Carmelo's not really a stud. He's just expensive. He's not going to hit 5 times value. He's going to hit 4 times value or so. Then you have Kyle Kuzma, and I like Marquise Morris today. He's the sole sleeper of the day. 10% chance to get 30 to 45 fantasy points. So he's going to be one of your primary values you put in. Look, he's getting almost a fantasy point per minute. He's definitely going to break off that 18.74 and get you 20 to 30 fantasy points and hit value. We got Danny Green, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is good if you want 20 fantasy points. He's going to get 20. He's going to get 10 to 20 fantasy points for 4,400. He has no chance to get over 45 fantasy points. So getting under 45 fantasy points, and he's 4-4. So now we'll look at the mega value. Rodney Hood, 1,800. He's at 99 here. He's getting 0.7 fantasy points per minute. He's definitely at least going to get you 20. So this is one of the scrubs you're putting in. Rodney Hood, he's not a scrub. I just refer him to that. So here's some of his stats. They're low. He has a 9%. He's not going to turn the ball over. 9% turnover ratio. There's no record of him there. So I'm definitely playing Rodney Hood. He's the sole sleeper of the day. Rodney Hood. Rondo, 7 times value. I don't trust. You can play Rondo as one of your values, because he is actually getting a fantasy point per minute, and he's projected 7 times value. But Rodney Hood is projected 11 times value. We don't see that every day. You got to put him in there. All right, so now here we go. $1,000 player, Mario Hezonja. All right, he's going to get another guy that's going to get 11 times value. He's 3,500 on Fanduel, so they adjusted their price, but Draftkings did not. So you're putting him in. He's getting some attempts and some rebounds. He's getting action. He turns the ball over a lot, but he's doing things. He's getting minutes. Nobody knows really who he is, but that's one of the values you're putting in. You could even put Nassar Little in as a value. You could put. I wouldn't really. You can't. These guys are a big risk. Caleb Swanigan, Nassar Little, Quinn Cook. I would not put Jared Dudley or Waylon Gabriel in, even though Gabriel has over 5 times value. Or Gary Trent Jr. He's too expensive. He's 3,000. He might get 15 fantasy points per minute, and he has a very tough matchup. So you could wind up getting a 30 out of him, though. So if you want to put him in, okay, so Gary Trent, I wouldn't really play him, but if you want to put him in as one of your expensive values, I would put him in as one of your high-price values. But as your low-price values, it's either you can probably put, I don't think I would put Quinn Cook in. Look at all those 1s and 5s and 3s. His value is going to be 8.3, and he's only 1,000. But okay, so if you put him in there, then you can probably put LeBron James, Davis, Lillard, and McCollum in. It would be funny. All right, let's go to the lineup optimizer and try to put some of those values in there with some of these guys we were talking about. So Danny Green's expensive, so let's try to find. So you could put, to save money, you could put Gary Trent Jr. in, and then. So then you're like, who am I going to put in? You could put Alex Caruso, who we didn't really touch on, or you could put Rodney Hood in. Then you could just get rid of him, and look at that, boom. Here's an okay lineup. I like Morris today, and obviously LeBron's good. All right, so we got LeBron, Morris again. They keep putting Dwight Howard in, so Dwight Howard probably will have a nice game if he gets rebounds, but I don't trust him. So let's just try to put Anthony Davis in the captain spot. That saves you about $500. You can definitely put Lillard in over that. So here's your two studs. So now you got Davis and Lillard. So you got to look down. Who do I have to get rid of? You have to get rid of Pope. You can put Trent. You can put Rondo. You can put Hood. Let's try to put Mario in there. So now we have almost $6,000 left over. So look, Morris, we want him in, but okay. But who? So we got Whiteside. Look at that. Now you got Davis, Lillard, and who can we upgrade? Carmelo Anthony, Whiteside, Morris, and Mario. Because you went cheap down here. You put a scrub in. He's not really a scrub. I'll just say that. Okay, so now you got your two studs. You need at least two of them today. Like Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Lillard, Whiteside. You need at least two of them in there, so you have to sacrifice somewhere. All right, so do not play Danny Green. I would not play Anthony Simmons. This is an option. It's not a good option, but if you want to go mid range, then you do something like this. This is a mid-level lineup where you kind of went cheap on your studs. You went Lillard in the MVP spot. You could go Davis there, but I would probably just keep Lillard. You can't upgrade anything here. You don't want to change Hassan Whiteside for Carmelo Anthony. So yeah, you would have to keep this lineup like this. So here's one with Anthony Davis as the MVP. I'm definitely putting one of those top 5 studs in my MVP spot. But okay, here's a example where you don't do that. So do I want to put Mario or Hood? So Mario is very risky in putting the MVP spot. So I'll probably just put somebody like him in there. If you want to go cheap on the MVP spot, don't go too cheap today on the MVP spot because there's too many studs. LeBron James. Now who do we got to put in? Look at that. Davis. Now who do we got? Look. So you can just, go here, and then you're going to have a big play here. Look at that. Whiteside. So you could do this if you want to go cheap with your MVP spot, and you still got now, since you went cheap with your MVP spot, you got 4 damn studs in there. James, Lillard, Davis, Whiteside. And you still didn't go too bad with your flex 4 spot, Caruso. You could always go Ariza over Caruso. You could. You probably wouldn't play McGee. You would probably play Hood here. So now what do? We upgrade here. And pray that Dwight Howard gets rebounds. All right, it's the Soul Fan Show.